I don't know if you saw this video from Barcelona where a bunch of citizens and residents of the countries were mass protesting against tourism by interestingly spraying tourists with water. It was an interesting tactic that I don't necessarily agree with, but what I find very particular is the comments under the video. To give you a good synopsis of the comments under the video, we can summarize it by: they should be lucky that we go and visit their poor ass country. Tourism is the only thing they have, and look how they treat us. And okay, let's relax. One of the reasons I don't like the comments is because nobody was actually thinking outside of themselves for a moment there. It's as if they were the ones actively being sprayed. Now, I'll admit, if I was in Barcelona and a group of tourists came and sprayed me with water, I'd be pretty upset. And I probably wouldn't be in the right headspace to make a video like this. But I'm not over there. I'm over here. So let's think clearly for a second there. We mostly understand that if a country's main financial income comes from tourism, there's probably a systematic failure there. We can try to understand that tourism is fun for the tourists, not for the locals. As tourism begins to increase in the country, the locals' quality of life reduces significantly. They can no longer afford rent because rent skyrockets, food skyrockets, all their goods and resources skyrockets because now there's a new source of income coming to their country. Not to mention the fact that tourism is extending to be gentrification, because look what's happening in Mexico. People are leaving third world countries like America. That's always funny to say. But people are leaving the world leaders to go to other countries to live because they cannot live in these countries either. But as they do so, they either socially, financially, economically destroy the lives of the locals. That being said, once more, I would not like to be sprayed with water if I was in Barcelona, but this is coming from the perspective of the good tourist. And I get it, because here you are saving your money to go to Barcelona to have a good time, but then you get sprayed with water by a bunch of protesters. But most of these people in the comments are not in Barcelona, and neither am I, and so we can actually sit down and reflect on the bigger issue here. I think this course of action can reflect their despairs for this to end. They need a better quality of life. And there are plenty of reasons for them to believe that tourism is the cause of most of their problems. That being said, I believe the target is just misguided. It shouldn't be the tourists, but instead their governments. Anyway, bitch, I'm starving.
People know what they're doing. I've stopped giving people this mindset that they do not know what they're doing. People go intentionally to countries that are struggling, and they know this. They know that these countries depend on tourists to boost up their economies. So the entitlement comes with a knowing. So I am not going to give people the benefit of the doubt based on those comments and based on how they perform and carry themselves in those said countries. No one talks about what these tourists do to the locals' areas and how they conduct themselves. They also instruct people on how to behave. They instruct them.
Okay, so let me get this straight. White people are going down to Mexico for vacation and are complaining that the Mexican bands that play on the Mexican beaches are too loud. And the white people complain so much that the Mexicans that ran those Mexican hotels was trying to ban the Mexican bands from playing Mexican music on the Mexican beaches. So the Mexican president got involved and had to send the Mexican military to go down to the Mexican beach because there was too many Mexican protesters protesting against the white people who were trying to ban the Mexican bands. And so the Mexican military is singing alongside the Mexican protesters. Then y'all get mad when people call y'all mayonnaise warriors. Not only that, they have mayonnaise warriors who have moved down to Mexico that have caused a lot of the Mexican restaurants to stop making spicy food.
You see?
So a lot of the Mexican restaurants are saying that they have to throw out tons and tons of food because white people are complaining so much about the food being spicy that they have to redo a lot of their orders. How about the white people in Mexico? Why don't you go back to your country? And y'all quick to say, it's not always about race. So what is it?
Welcome to a textbook case of gentrification here in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco. Alguien aquí purchased a home very close to a local Mexican restaurant that has been established for 35 years and is now trying to shut them down.
At some point, we are going to have to treat these individuals like the immigrants that they truly are. It's like Caucasian people came to the planet not to give any really benefit, just to be able to make people's lives harder and more traumatic because it's not pleasing to them. I'm not even being funny. They were the ones that Donald Trump should have been engaging while leaving everybody else alone, because every time they get around somebody, they are damaging, stealing, and destroying those people's communities and claiming it as theirs, which I don't comprehend. Once again, they truly don't give no true benefit to the planet other than being dark individuals who don't benefit anybody.
They want to go into our spaces and expect us to accommodate them. We must make it easier for them. That they are deserving for us to make it easier for them. They should not be learning our language. We should learn their language because they are deserving. They should be entitled to be in our spaces because they are white people. You're white and? You're white and? And what? And what? You should be, oh my God. Being white is a chore. Being white is seriously a chore. And the entitlement is really hard to even, because like I said, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. When they go to our spaces, when they act the way they act, it's the entitlement of feeling deserved. They carried it everywhere. So when they cannot afford to live in Italy, they go to the Americas hoping to make a living. And then they become entitlement. There's entitlement that comes with being in that space. You should learn Italian. You should learn, I'm using Italy as an example, please. You should learn Italian. You should do all of those things, you know. You go from America, I should change the entire political standpoint. Those coming from America to Cape Town to settle, welcome to my day of my life as a digital nomad in Cape Town. You know, I can work everywhere. But they have improper papers. They're not here to make life any better. They're here to make it worse. They're involved in illegal activities. They're involved in anything that you can possibly. They're always complaining about nothing that makes sense. They always complain about things that's absolutely the worst. They feel entitled. It's the entitlement. And I'm going to show you what type of music they expect the people of Mexico to play for white people. The kings of the earth and the queens of the earth. They got a note as soon as the other music started to play. They wanted that soft playing. You know, they did not want that loud band music playing. They didn't want any of that. They wanted the locals to accommodate them. They want to be centered. They also built a long bridge dividing Mexico from the States. Now they are going to the States. What about keep your America, bro. Keep your America. Keep your America white. Keep it. You build a long bridge dividing Mexico so that Mexicans should not come to America. Mexicans should do the same thing.